no paper towel.
Hey y'all, welcome back to Primitive Organic Garden today. I just wanted to do a quick video update on how to preserve vegetables using lacto fermentation. Everybody's probably familiar with things like sauerkraut and kimchi. So when you harvest a vegetable, whether it's a cabbage or a root vegetable, you can make a lacto fermented vegetable preserve out of pretty much any vegetable. You can use carrots, turnips, you can use radishes, you can use rutabagas, you can use bok choy, you can use collards, you can use cabbage, you can use parsnips. Any type of vegetable, particularly winter vegetables, are very well suited to lacto fermentation. Why do we do this? We don't just do it because it tastes great and it gives you lots of probiotics and prebiotics, which are good for your digestive and immune system. We also do this because it's a method of food preservation. If you're in a grid down situation and you're not able to have electricity for things like refrigeration, you need to know how to preserve food. When I harvested this radish, would probably only be good for a couple of days, and then it would start to get soft, and eventually after a week or two it would start to rot. So the shelf life of this radish, while it's a pretty big radish and provides lots of calories and nutrients in a survival situation, its shelf life is 1 to 2 weeks. If we use lacto fermentation to preserve this radish, then we're going to be able to extend the shelf life of it by about 6 months easily. In the most simple form, what we're going to do is just increase the surface area of the vegetable. Like I said, it could be a radish, a turnip, a carrot, whatever you want, cabbage. So we want to get it into small pieces. You could cube it. You could also, I'm going to shred it with a grater. I've already done some. Once you get it all shredded, we're going to add a lot of salt. I'm using a pink Himalayan sea salt, or pink Himalayan salt. I've gone away from sea salts because sea salts are full of plastic now. So I've been using a lot more pink Himalayan salt. So we're generally going to put about 1 heaping tablespoon of salt per cup of vegetable material or cup of liquid. I'm not adding any additional salt water today or liquid. I think there's enough moisture in the radish, and I've already done a couple jars and it's come out fine. So basically I'm going to take the root vegetable, whether it's a radish or a carrot or a turnip, or even if it's a cabbage or whatever, and you shred it, get the surface area increased, and you're going to add a bunch of salt, at least 1 tablespoon per cubic cup of vegetable material. Then you're going to pack it into your jar, and I like to use airlocks. You don't have to. You could use a pint jar, pint glass, or you could use there's lots of different ways, but I'm trying to be safe and clean about it, so I got these nice little airlocks off Amazon. They were cheap. But anyway, thank you all for tuning in today. Just a quick update on how we make lacto fermented vegetables like sauerkraut and kimchi. If I wanted to be creative, I could add some ginger root and some green onion or scallions or garlic, or even a little bit of bok choy or some arugula to some of these ferments. I could add some leeks to these ferments. But today I was just trying to be simple and just wanted to get rid of my radishes as quick as possible. So I'm shredding up the radishes, packing them into pint jars, adding at least 1 tablespoon per cubic cup of salt. I usually add the salt when it's in the mixing bowl and mix it all. So I try to eye it, if it looks like I got 4 or 5 cups worth of vegetable material. Each one of these jars is 2 cups. So if I look at the bowl and I feel like I got 4 or 5 cups, then I'm going to add 4 or 5 tablespoons of salt. And mix it all together and put it in the jars. And I always add a little bit more salt on top of the jars because you want to create an environment that's inhospitable for other bacteria and fungi. You only want lactobacillus, which is a extreme salt tolerant bacteria. Lactobacillus will survive in environments that are significantly saline, whereas most other microorganisms that might spoil your food will not survive in those saline environments. So again, we take the vegetable that would usually only have a shelf life of a week or 2, we increase its surface area, we expose it to beneficial bacteria like lactobacillus by creating an environment where only lactobacillus thrives due to selection pressure with high saline content. Then we allow that to ferment in an anaerobic environment for a couple of weeks, allowing the carbon dioxide to escape but not allowing oxygen to get in. And that takes our vegetable that had a shelf life of 1 to 2 weeks and turns it into a vegetable that now has a shelf life of at least 6 months and also has beneficial implications for immune function and overall health. So yes, food preservation is a survival skill. You have to know how to hunt and fish and trap and farm if you want to succeed in a grid down situation. but it's not enough to know how to produce the food. It's super cool that you can grow vegetables and, catch fish and all that, but you have to know how to preserve them so that you can have access to food and nutrients at all points in time, not just when it's readily available. Anyway, thank y'all for tuning in to Primitive Organic Garden today. I'm gonna get back to grating these radishes. It's pretty hard work, but it's all gonna be really worth it.